Welcome to Fundamentals of Perl Programming. So I am Dr. P.K. Praveen Kumar, Professor, Department of Biotechnology, Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering. So the Perl Programming is present in Unit 5 of BT 2203 to Programming for Computational Biotechnology Applications for 5th semester BTech Biotechnology, which comes under Regulation 2022. Similarly, the same topic Perl programming also can be observed in BT 18703 Bioinformatics and Computational Biology subject present in 7th semester BTech Bio for Regulation 2018-8. So now let me take you to the syllabus contents. So in Unit 5, we can able to find a basics of Perl programming for bioinformatics, data types. Under data types, we discuss three types of data types and we discuss about the types of operators. In this video, we'll be discussing about the fundamentals of Perl programming, data types, the types of data types in Perl, and the operator types of operators in Perl, and also how to execute a simple Perl program. Okay, now let me take you to the next slide, and these contents will be seen in next video. Now let me take you to the features of Perl. What is Perl? The Perl basically the expansion is practical extraction reporting language. Okay, so practical extraction and report language. And if you see about the Perl, this is a stable cross-platform programming language. It is used for generally mission critical projects in the public and private sectors. And this is a free and open source software downloaded in uh, in the under you can find the license under GNU General Public License. And if you see the Perl, the father of Perl is Larry Wall, and the earlier version of the late version of Perl is 1.0, and now we are using Perl 5.0. And if you see this Perl, this is released in 1987. What are the features of Perl? Perl takes the best features from the other languages such as C, Awk, SAD, SH, and BASIC and others. Not only it links with different languages, structure and object-oriented programming languages, this also linked with various databases, especially third-party databases like Oracle, Sybase, Postgres, MySQL, etc. Perl works with HTML, XML, and other markup languages. Perl supports Unicode. Perl is Y2K compliant. As I already mentioned, it supports both procedural and object-oriented programming. Perl interfaces with external C++ libraries through Access or Swig. And this is extensible and nearly 20,000 packages are there in Perl. Like in C language, we have find header, the functions are present in header files. In Perl language, we can find functions are present in packages. For most of the bioinformatics applications or the functions, you can find the bioinformatics application functions are present in 20,000 unique packages. And this language is an interpreted language. Unlike C, which is having a compiler and an interpreter for executing an output, here they here find only one uh, tool called interpreter for executing the output, just like HTML and scripting languages. Of course, the Perl also called as Perl scripts. Perl programming are generally called as Perl scripts. And if you see the Perl, if you want to work on Perl, we generally go for active state Perl or strawberry Perl. The Larry Wall has brought the strawberry Perl. For the beginners, the active state Perl is sufficient for practice. Now let me take you to the basic core concepts in Perl. First, we discuss about the escape sequences and the types of operators present in Perl. Escape sequences, like however you find the escape sequences in C, Java, here and R programming language. Here also you can observe the escape sequences, but we have more options here in Perl when compared to these languages. For example, if you see the double slash, we call this as backslash. And if you find a slash quote, a single quote, we call it as a single quote, and slash double quote, we call it as a double quote, slash A for alert or bell alert, slash B for backspace, slash F for form feed, slash N for new line, and slash R for carry is written, slash T for horizontal tab, and slash V for vertical tab. In operators, we can find nearly 8 types of operators are present in Perl. Number one is arithmetic operator. So if you see the arithmetic, so number one is arithmetic operator. Number two is equality operator. Number three, logical operators. Number four is assignment operators. Number five, bitwise. Number six, logical. Number seven, code-like operators. And the eighth one is the miscellaneous operators. So totally we have 8 operators present in Perl. Now we discuss elaborately on these operators. About arithmetic operators, we can find plus for addition, minus for subtraction, and asterisk for multiplication, slash for division, and percentage for modulus, double asterisk for exponent. And now if you see the second operator, equality, generally the equality is a double equals for equal to and exclamatory equals for not equal to, lesser equals greater for comparing three different conditions like comparing lesser, comparing equals, and comparing greater. So this is a compare operator. This is an unique operator present in Perl, which comes under equality of greater than symbol for greater than and lesser than and greater or equals for greater than or equal to and lesser than or equal to. So these are a few equality operators present in Perl. Under logical operator, you can find A and D for logical and, OR for logical or, and NOT for logical not. Now come across the assignment operators. The assignment operator, the basic assignment operator is equals, but we can also can uh, prefix with arithmetic operators. For example, you can also use plus equals uh, and minus equals is also an assignment operator. Asterisk equals, slash equals, percentage equals, double asterisk equals. Okay. So what do you infer from here? So the assignment operators or generally that assignment operator equals is generally matched with arithmetic operator to form the assignment operator. For example, if you declare I equals, okay, I plus equals or I asterisk equals, I asterisk equals, okay, 1, it means that I equals, okay, I asterisk 1, okay. So what do you infer from that? So obviously, now you infer that you find ultimately an equal. So this is an assignment operator. Even if you use asterisk equals, it means that you are is simply implying the assignment operator. Now let me take you to the bitwise operators. So single ampersand for binary and single pipe symbol for binary or and cap symbol for binary, XOR, exclusive OR, and the approximate that is for binary ones complement, double laser for binary left shift, and double greater is for binary right shift operators. Now let me take you to the um, quote-like operators. In quote-like operators, you use Q followed by curly parentheses, opening and closing. Inside the opening and closing curly parentheses, you can enclose a string within a single quotes, and can also use quote-like operator like double Q, curly parenthesis open and curly parenthesis close. Inside, you can enclose a string within double quotes. Okay, like if you use a single word, better use a single quote. But if you use a more than two words, okay, better go for double quotes. And similarly, QX, curly parenthesis open and close. This is a third quote like operator. Generally, it encloses a string with invert quotes. And now we come across the last type of operator called miscellaneous operators. In miscellaneous operators, dot refers to the binary operator, X refers to the repetition operator, double dot refers to the range operator, plus plus for auto increment, minus minus for auto decrement, and hyphen greater for arrow operator. This arrow operator is generally present in hash data type. Now let me take you to the types of data types in Perl. What are the three types of data types present in Perl? Number one is the scalar data type. The scalar data type is generally represented by a dollar sign, and it might be an integer, float, a character, a string, a collection of characters, which we call it as a string. Even you can initialize a string in the scalar variable, and all including a paragraph, or even an entire web page can be enclosed in scalar data type. Okay, if that is scalar, how about an array? The array is generally represented by at, okay, is prefixed by at. And if you see what is an array, it is a list of scalar values. Array is a list of scalar values. Okay, and if you see the third data type is hash, the hashes generally have a set of key and value pairs. Just like arrays, you have a list of scalars, but here you have a key value is going to point with value 1. For example, key if you have three keys like key 1, key 2, key 3, it should have pointed three different values, like key 1 pointing with value 1, key 2 pointing with value 2, and key 3 pointing with the value 3. Okay, so if you have equal number of keys and values, then whatever you assign to the assign a hash variable is a valid one. And how the hash variable can be assigned? It can be assigned by prefixing with percentage. Okay, so for scalar it is dollar, for array it is at sign, and for hash variable you have to initialize with percentage. Now let me take you to the illustration of these data types in Perl. Okay, the use strict, use warnings gives like if you want to use something strict and if you want to display some warnings, if any errors or that, you can also use this, or else you can directly start with this kind of text. Okay, so I just initializing a scalar variable called scalar. So for that I'm using dollar scalar equals inside the single quotes I'm enclosing a string like text. And for an array, as I have mentioned, you should you, you should initialize with at sign. So now I'm going giving an at sign followed by an array variable like an array equals I'm enclosing a list of scalars inside the brackets. And I have to finally terminate with the terminator operator semicolon. Each and every line in the Perl programming language has to be terminated with semicolon operator. Okay. So now we have seen how to initialize first data type called scalar. Now how to initialize the scalar data type like at. And the next one I'm going to mention is the hash. Okay. The hash is generally prefixed by percentage. Okay. They give like percentage hash equals. Okay. A key one is going to point to a value one. So value one is a string. So I'm enclosing it in a single quotes. And similarly, K2 is pointing with the value 2. So the arrow operator, also the pointer like a pointer addressing a address in the C programming language. Here we can find hashes, okay, in Perl programming language, which a key value is going to address a value 1 and key 2 is going to address a value 2. And what is this my? My is just like if you have a more collections, okay, multiple collections, you can use my, or you can simply ignore using my. I can without my also I can able to declare like dollar scalar equal text and at array equals 1 2 3 percentage hash is also. So you will be getting an output, no doubt in that. Okay, but if you use more than one scalar or one array, so obviously we use my. And I mean, especially if you're using multiple functions. Now, let me take you to the function that this is actually a user-defined subroutine if you want to define a subroutine, okay, so you have to define like this. Okay, I'm giving some uh, user-defined function like the subroutines are generally called as functions. I mean, whatever you call functions in C language, here in Perl language, we call it as subroutines. Okay, the user-defined subroutine here initially I'm giving like test, open bracket, close bracket. And another test subroutine, I'm enclosing a scalar variable called $scalar. And for the next function, I'm going to give test at array and test percentage hash. Now, if you try to write the subroutine definition, you have to give like sub followed by test. How the subroutine definition can be written? Always remember, you should use sub followed by the subroutine name, that is test. And whatever I mentioned, test $scalar, test at array, test percentage hash, these are subroutine call. You have only two parts of subroutines. One is a subroutine definition, which is present in the last line, and the next one is a subroutine call. When a program finds a subroutine call, it just prompts it go to the subroutine definition and executes the code for us. Okay, so you have four different calls, subroutine calls. Obviously, the for four different calls, the subroutine definition is going to be executed one by one. Now, if you see the subroutine test, okay, so inside the curly parentheses, I'm going to give a code like printf. Inside the bracket, I'm going to give a percentage s, of course, like an escape sequence. Okay, for if you want to print a string, we can give like this and slash n, a new line character, comma, join. So inside the join, I'm going to join the values and at underscore. So obviously, for the first one, you won't get anything, but for the second, you get the scalar, and for the third, you print an array of values 1, 2, 3, and for the fourth, you print the key one value one, key two value. Now let me take you to the illustration of array variable. So here I'm going to give a two different array variables. One is array of ages and the other is array of names. In array of ages, I gave an integer value like 25, 30, 40, three different integer values. And in array of names, okay, I'm going to give a collection of strings, which are also considered as scalars. Already told you, arrays are nothing but collection of scalars. The scalar here in the first array, you can find the integers, but in the second array, you can find the uh, collection of strings, which still comes under. If you have a collection of strings, we can collect it in array. Now, if you want to output this line, that is print in double quote slash $hs0 equals $hs0. So what output you can expect? You can expect an output like $ages bracket 0 equals. So whatever you can find here, generally you know the arrays is going to store the scalars from 0th position. So if this is 0th position, this is first position, this is the second position. For if you type dollar, okay, if you type dollar, okay, dollar, ages, ages of 0. If you type print, okay, if you type print dollar of ages of 0, then you get the first value, that is 25. If you print dollar ages of inside the square bracket, if you type 1, you get 30. You got it? So the arrays generally in store the values from 0th position. That's what I want to mean. So if you give like dollar ages of 0 here, you can output 25 here. But here I'm going to use a slash. So you output only the string here, not the value. So you can get an output like dollar ages of 0 in the first print. You get like dollar ages of 0 equals 25. This is your output. This is your output for the first print statement. And in the second print statement, you can able to find dollar ages of 1. So before dollar ages of 1, you have slash. If you don't have slash, you get 30 equals 30. But that is not in this case because you find a slash, obviously you can output this as a string that is $ages of 1 equals 30. Similarly, $ages of 2 equals 40. And however you output the array values, a list of integers. Similarly, even you can output the list of scalars. I mean, scale list of strings, which is present in array of names. Okay, so now if you want to output the same, you have to give the same kind of a syntax like dollar names of zero equals dollars names of zero. So you get an output like dollar names of zero equals John Paul, dollar names of one equals Lisa, dollar names of two equals Kumar. Okay. Now, let me take you to the next example of our arrays. Here in this arrays, you can able to find, okay, in this example, you can find your days is an array variable, but here I'm not using a open and close brackets. Instead, I'm using QW operator. You know what is QW? It is a quote with operators. These are coming under quote like operators. So in quote with operators, you can also give like slash, and you can give each and every scalar, okay, separated by a space. For example, if you want to find a days of a week, okay, whatever 7 days of the week, okay, you can give a three-letter word. Okay, now I'm giving first scalar as MON space TUE space WD space 3 THU space FRI space SAT space SUN. Now close the backslash. So in quote with operator, if you open with the backslash, you should close with the backslash once again. And now terminate with the terminator operator. Now, if I try to output like dollar days of zero. So as I already mentioned, the arrays always store the values from zeroth position. So in zeroth position, Monday is here. So if you print dollar days of zero, obviously the output is Monday. No doubt in that. So you get an output like Monday. If that is an output for the first statement, how about for dollar days one? Yes, you are right. Your guess is right. You get like Tuesday. For dollar days of two, obviously Wednesday. How about dollar days of six? So you check it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get an output here like Sunday. No doubt in that. If this is Sunday, how about dollar days of -1? You know, the days of the week are repetitive, isn't it? After Sunday, what is the next day? Monday. So before Monday, what is the previous day? It is Sunday. So if Monday is in zeroth position, so -1 position, you can anticipate, you can expect only Sunday. So here also you get the same value like Sunday. And similarly, you have to go backwards and you have to check what is days of -7. If this is -1, check what is -7 and you can output according. Now let me take you to the next program. This is about again illustration of arrays, but illustration using range operator. The range operator here we use is double dots. I'm going to enclose a list of 10 values, that is using a range operator 1 double dot 10 in the variable 10. And similarly, 10 to 20 I initialize in array variable underscore 20. And similarly, A to Z, even the alphabets can be stored. A sequence of alphabets can also be stored. So in this case, what you can get, you'll get like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H up to Z. Okay, you're going to store it in var underscore ABC. And if you try to use a print statement to output the following, obviously get 1 to 10, here 10 to 20, and here you get like A to Z. Now let me go to the last data type, the illustration for hashes. So what is the major difference between arrays and hashes? Even in arrays, you have a list of scalars, even in just like arrays, but in hash, Okay. In hash, generally you initialize with a percentage. And as you already mentioned, you have set of keys and values. If John Paul is key 1 and the 45 value is key 2 and the Lisa is now considered as key 2 and so 30 is considered as value 2 and you have third key as Kumar and value 3 as 40. So totally you have three keys and three values. A key is going to point with a value. And if you try to output the same using the scalar variable like dollar followed by the theta under John Paul, you get the corresponding values. Okay. So you can find the output in the values, however we have mentioned. Now, let me take you to the program 2. In this program too, what special thing you can find when compared to the previous program? Here you can find some keywords like keys and values. Okay, so these are predefined. Okay, so if you try to use these keys, okay, keys, and if you give a value like percentage of data, whatever you're taken as a hash variable, whatever data hash variable you have initialized, if you give it as an input, obviously you get a list of, you will be getting in the form of a list of scalars. That is, here you get only the key values alone inside the array, that is names array. So the keys can fetch only the keys alone, not the values. So according to this program, I already mentioned you, we have only three keys. Okay, John Paul, Lisa, and Kumar. So only these three keys alone are taken as a list of scalars and stored in this array called at names. And so if you try to output dollar names of 0 and names of 1 and names of 2, you get these three different names. And similarly, however, you find a predefined function like keys, we also have for values as values. So the input you have to give like again percentage of data. So only the values, the integer values 45, 30, 40 are stored as scalars in this ages array. And if you want to output the same, you try to give this scalar values. Okay, got it? So this is a simple illustration for these three data types, scalar, arrays, and hashes. So in my video, I have shown few examples for the types of data types and even illustration of few operators. Okay, thank you.